welcome. It's Monday and I've had a bit of a weekend and a bit of a morning and a bit crazy, and we're talking about identity today, and I am late for this live video. I'll explain it all, partly because it's interesting in lieu of the topic. Whew, I have to catch my breath. I didn't even get time to get my tea or coffee today, because I have this beautiful, beautiful puppy here, but she is injured. We were looking after her, and she somehow cut her muscles in her paw on something in the bushes. She's a 1-year-old, and she's wild, she's strong, and there you go. Life turns around in a jiffy. So I've spent this whole weekend trying to tend to her wound, figure out how to only walk this energetic dog for 5 minutes at a time without her freaking out, and keeping her calm at any time. And she's got this collar on her, which is the sound you might hear if it picks, I'm not sure if it picks it up, but so my dears, yes, identity. And I'll start immediately with, this is a very interesting thing for me, what's going on here. And speaking of identity, sometimes we're not aware of the identity that we adopt or live without really thinking it. And it's sort of a different angle to belief systems, to mindsets, to patterns, and just another way of approaching it and connecting to whatever it is you're living, and deciding whether it is something you want to be living, that you want to keep living. Now, this thing that I'm in the middle of now is a little bit about my identity of somebody who is so kind that I overextend myself beyond my own boundaries. Now, I wouldn't do it. I would not help this dog and not help the owners, because the owners, they need this help, and I do it, and I'm falling in love with this dog, and it's not even mine, so I better, but it's a beautiful experience in so many ways, but it's also quite a task, and it's very interesting to consider, and this is not the first thing this has happened to me, and it's not the first thing I sort of push aside my own things, and if the owner's watching this, please don't feel bad. I mean, I do this happily, but this is just something about the pattern, and we need to care for our loved ones or the animals when they need it. But when these things happen as an emergency, that's one thing. But when you find that you keep repeating that kind of pattern, such as in my case, the overextending myself in things where I don't have to do it. So this is just a reminder. This is just a wake-up call for me. Okay, what am I living? I'm living the person who keeps giving and overextending to people of all kinds who come to me simply because I cannot somehow say no. And so my identity in this case is the one who helps, right? Helps a lot. And gives a lot, as much as I can, and then at the same time not maybe taking care of my own space and time enough for myself to really have all that energy to give in such an instance as now with this dog. And yes, it's a pattern, it's a belief system that I have to maybe help when I can, that my time isn't valuable enough, whatever it is. But it's also an identity. And if you think about it, the identity of something, when you live an identity of somebody who is a workaholic maybe, or somebody who cares for everybody, or somebody who is easily distracted, somebody who's horrible with money, somebody who can't express his or her emotions, just being a woman is an identity, a man maybe a culture, maybe a color of your skin. I mean, I know this creates an identity for a lot of people because we've segregated, there's been segregation and separation, and all these things, they cause us to act in certain ways and choose certain things and react in certain ways. And another thing in my case is also stepping into the identity of a business leader, owner, not just a sole entrepreneur, but an entrepreneur of a larger project and company which I'm building. So I had to, and I spoke of this actually last week a little bit in a vlog that I did, because I'd been to this beautiful workshop in Cannes with entrepreneurs working exactly in both mindsets and also in practical, of course, entrepreneurship, but this whole embodying the identity of being that entrepreneur, that leader, that business owner. That was a revelation to me, and this is where this topic comes through now. It was about sort of embodying it in my spine, and because I choose to, because I want to be this, I want to run this project, this business, I want to own it, and I want to be that leader, and not just a leader, but a leader who can embody a beautiful project of compassion, of sustainability, of health, well-being, and a compassionate leader who can hold the space for my employees and my co-workers or whoever it is that I hire in, which means, you know, owning that and imagining it. You can bring this to any level of your life. If it's whether the way, you know, weight, maybe you want to lose or gain weight. What's your identity? Do you hold the identity of the one who's too big or too thin? Can you own the identity of the opposite? And speaking of that, because yesterday I heard an interview on the radio which actually taps right into this, with two women who had decided to undergo surgery to lose weight because it was becoming a problem, and part of it was, I think, there was some ailment that caused the weight. That doesn't really matter what in this setting. What matters here is what they felt shifted in their identity. And one of them said, I have lower self-confidence now that I'm thin, because I'm treated differently because I'm thin, not because I'm me. And so being big, and also she lost some of her bigger friends because of envy or whatever it was. And the other one also stated, you know, that she had the identity of being big, so it was a shock to suddenly be treated differently, because we treat people according to our ideals, our ideas, our identities, our belief systems. And these two women felt it a shock to suddenly shift, and there was no losing weight in the mind, no shifting, no support system for how to deal with this mentally. So these women, I wonder if they had been guided or helped or found a way to embody their new identity, the identity they chose, would that have made a difference? Possibly. I find that embodying this new identity, that where I used to be, I have to work and fight, and I'm not really an entrepreneur, and I'm actually an artist, and I'm actually a healer, and I shouldn't be doing all this, and then suddenly, well, actually I just have to own it, this identity. And then suddenly there's a lot more fun in doing what I want to do. It feels more natural, empowered, freer, and I feel stronger. I know now that I can go and approach those financial guys or those business owners for support or for collaboration, because I feel that I'm more at their level. I can communicate from that new identity. So if you want to embody something in your life, if you want to make a shift, try it on. We'll talk more about that on Wednesday, how to do it. But my invitation in this video would be to explore, what is it you think about yourself? And one of the coaches that held the workshop in Cannes on Friday last week, he spoke about how he used to be shy. That was his identity when he was young. And suddenly he realized this and he shifted it, and now he held a big workshop and he speaks publicly and he's not shy. That's not his identity. He can choose to go into the more secret or private sphere, but he does not accept the identity of being shy. Now, is it that easy? Well, we need to try it. And sometimes you go through processes. Sometimes you have people help you both discover what you don't want to hold on to and what you want to embrace. And sometimes you learn techniques, and I'll guide you through a couple on Wednesday. I'm just going to share this now because I want to ignite this exploration, this investigation in yourself of what identities do you hold. Now, you're probably not going to be able to reveal all of them, but find one. Maybe there's an identity, maybe two, one that you like, that you want to keep, such as me, being the now, which took a while to grow into, being now the intuitive reader and healer, and being a musician before that. That also took a long time before I could sort of acknowledge myself as a musician, even though I was trained for it. There was something about embodying it. Now, I'm not playing a lot these days, music. I'm a pianist. And I don't perform a lot these days. But I still introduce myself as a musician and a performer because I am embodying that identity. It's what I want to have as part of my identity. And being this reader and healer is also something that it took a long time for me to dare to even express and tell somebody. And now I'm here live because I own it. And I enjoy and I love those parts of my identity. So I choose to keep those. Now, maybe there's one identity, one part of your identity. And I want to separate the identity from the personality. Personality to me is a little bit closer to the energy that you hold, the vibration, the frequency, whatever, the essence of your heart, the colors that you hold. And some are softer, maybe gentler, maybe more sort of mild colors. Some have more power in their colors, and this can also change through the life maybe, but I think there's an essence through all of us that guides us in on our path, and the expression of that would, I haven't really thought about this before, but would to me be what we call the personality. But the identity is what we adopt, what we choose to own. Now, if you want to choose to only own your own vibration, if you want to choose to be completely authentic and aligned, then that's what you could explore. What identities feel great? What matches who I feel authentic in or with being? And for me, music and this healing and reading is a powerful expression to me of my essence. And it feels right to embody that identity. That's one of the reasons I want to keep them. Now, the identity of overextending myself, not necessarily in the aid of an ailing dog, which I, of course I would, of course, at any time. But when you don't need to really, or when you do it in order to help somebody who maybe would be better off even trying to help themselves, maybe that's a part of my identity that I'd like to shift to. I'd like to embody something different. And I'm investigating this now because I'm learning from this experience with this dog that I'm looking after. And for those of you who joined later, I started late today because the dog I'm looking after injured herself this weekend badly, very badly. And so we have to look after her and change her bandage. She cut some muscles and we have to walk 5 minutes and keep her calm. And she's 1 year old. She's a small puppy. And that's the kind of situation when you do put your life maybe a little aside, if you're the kind that like to help, as I am. That part of the identity I enjoy. But the part of my identity that pushes myself to the limit, to my own limit, regardless of the emergency or the need, or regardless of my ability or my energy or my abundance of energy, if you would like, then that's the part of my identity that I might like to shift. And so I'd have to look at what would I want to embody instead. What if you have something in you that you find a belief, it's connected, as I said, to the belief system. If there's a belief system in you, are you a worrier? Are you a poor person, a rich person? Are you unreliable? Are you too reliable? Are you too responsible maybe for everybody else? Whatever. Are you beautifully responsible for exactly what it... Find out what it is in you that... There are all kinds of levels here. So whatever it is in you that you would like to shift a little bit, try and consider that. And on Wednesday I'll go a bit deeper into what I've been mentioning, this about embodying this identity that you want to shift into. It doesn't have to be too hard. It doesn't have to be a lot of hard work. That's a belief system. And the one who works really hard to achieve stuff or to change or shift or to dig into, that could be an identity. It could be part of the process, but if it's something that you tend to do or be in your life, then maybe it's an identity you want to consider looking at if it drains you. I would maybe think that if you're somebody who digs deep into your wounds or a pain or down, and I'm not mocking, this is just why I'm sorry, this is my way of expressing myself, this facial expression. If you tend to go, and because I've done this, I know what it's like. If you tend to dig deep in and sort of on the way maybe attacking yourself for all the things that you've done wrong, maybe that's a pattern, a belief system, an identity that you can step out of, discard, and step into somebody who allows the shift maybe. That could be one alternative. But imagine, where would you like to shift? What part, and what would you like to embrace and acknowledge for yourself? What feels right for you? What identity do you want to live? Step up as? Show more of? What part of your life are you hiding a little bit that you're actually quite proud of? Maybe you want to step up. Embody it. And I'll give you a little taste of this. I can't wait till Wednesday. Try to see that, feel it in your spine. It's as if your spine is holding the identity you want to step into, or the shift you want to step into. Just explore it. See how it works. For me, that was the most powerful epiphany in regards to shifting into the business owner identity that I'm embodying. Yeah, I think that was what I wanted to share today. And I'm sitting here with my son in the sun in my face because I can't leave the dog. I can't take her into the other house. So bless her, the poor thing. Yeah, anyway, have a beautiful day. I will finish with this meditation of the 3 breath meditation and the centering. And then after that, set the intention for your day. And again, I welcome you to explore your identity, the parts of your identity that you want to keep, the part that you might want to maybe adjust or shift or change or dismiss altogether. And before we do that, take a deep breath with your eyes open or closed. It doesn't really matter. Just focus on the breath. Bring your attention to the air entering through your nostrils. Breathe in through your nose and into your heart, down to your body, and release down through to your hips as you breathe out. Bring your focus to the air that you breathe in, the next inhale. Follow the breath in through the nostrils, down through the lungs, and breathe out as you sink your attention way down into your hips, anchoring yourself in your hip area and yourself. One last breath. Breathe in beautiful fresh air, a fresh start. In through your nostrils, down through the lungs, past your heart, and as you breathe out, fill your attention, fill your awareness, bring your awareness down to your hips. Imagine that this energy just flows down through your legs into the ground, anchoring you to the ground, grounding you. Bring your attention to your heart. Bring your full awareness to your heart center. You can put your hands there if it helps. Who are you? And see if you can connect to the feeling, the essence of you. And from this space, you can find the identity and live the identity that you choose. So, the first thing is to familiarize yourself with who you are. What is your vibrance, your vibration, your color, your feeling? Give thanks to yourself for being here, for yourself and for everybody else, for holding yourself together. And then set the intention for the day. What do you want this day to feel like? Don't need to think about what you have to do. What do you want this day to feel like for you? And how do you want to feel about this day? And invite yourself to bring this forward into the day, this feeling. And to come back and keep you through the day if you forget about it. Just set the intention to remind yourself. And then you can let go. And you can do whatever it is for your day. Move forward, whichever way you would like to do it. I would like, and I'll share this now because I started this talk in chaos after a chaotic attempt at a walk with this dog. And I would like to continue the day with calm, openness, peace, and a smile, joy. I invite you to choose your own or to join my intention if you like. Have a beautiful day. Many blessings to you all. And I'll see whoever wants to join me on Wednesday or watch it later. We'll talk more about the actual embodying the identity that you choose. Take care. Bye-bye.